Hello everybody, my name is MrNosy and welcome to this tech review for the Corsair Vengeance M65 gaming mouse. Now this is the mouse that we are going to be reviewing today, and it is an FPS focused mouse, and I'm just going to crack straight on by reading you some of the tech spec list just so you guys get an idea of what this mouse is all about. So this mouse offers 8200 DPI sensor for superior tracking, a dedicated sniper button that lets you switch resolutions for extremely accurate shots, and has an adjustable weight system for a custom fit for basically any way that you want to play specifically. So also Corsair state that they've carefully selected materials which provide superior ergonomics, and I will go into that one in detail later because it's one of my key points that I want to raise about this mouse. It has an aluminium unibody design, so this is basically an aluminium frame, which is the secret behind the M65's low weight and high rigidity, and that's something I really do like about this mouse, and I will go, like I said, into detail later on about this mouse. It has 3 adjustable tuning zones that let you customize the weight. It has a selectable response time. You can tune the performance for your desktop surface by choosing 1000, 500, 250 or 125 Hz. It has a high mass rubberized solid metal scroll wheel, and the switches are rated for 20 million clicks. And finally, it has PTFE glide pads. I know it sounds a bit stupid, PTFE. Why can't they just say glide pads? Which provide you with a low friction contact points for swift, precise movement with minimal effort. So that's basically the tech list all sorted, guys. So I'm going to hop straight into the review and tell you a little bit more about the mouse and go really into detail about this and what makes it good and what makes it not so good. So let's get cracking. So the first thing I want to show you with this mouse are the 8 buttons, where they're located and how they're used, and how handy they actually are. So firstly, you have here the right click, left click, and they actually they are quite responsive. You don't actually have to push down very far in order to use them, which is really nice. A very short click. You can click them from quite high up as well, which is quite nice. If you're quite a claw stance gamer, so if you kind of clawed, you can actually click there quite easily. You also have the mouse wheel click, which is quite an audible click. It's not like a dull thud that you get with other gaming mice, which is quite nice. I do quite like that. You also have the DPI adjustment buttons, which are here. So as you can see, the light goes up and down again for the DPI settings. They are, in other mice, they are better placed, I think. For example, the Razer Mamba have them down here, which are a bit easier to access. Here, I think you probably have, if you're fighting, you may need to take some cover to use these, but that's not the end of the world. I've generally found it quite easy to use, so that's never really been much of a problem. The other 2 buttons are where your thumb generally tends to rest. So usually I use these for grenades or switching out a certain weapon that I use all the time. They are really well placed, I feel. I don't really have to stretch at all for either of those 2. Which I find, just another nice feature which all comes together quite nicely. So that's kind of all the buttons and where they're located. I hope I've given you kind of a good idea about all of those. Now the next thing I want to move on to is the materials. Now this is something which it's kind of been a touchy point for me in terms of gaming mouse. Now I own the Razer Mamba and I did really like the mouse, but the build material felt a bit cheap, and that's because it was all made out of plastic. Now this mouse, on the other hand, is fantastic. I have not had a better mouse than this one in terms of build materials, and I'll tell you why. If you look on the bottom of the mouse here, you can see that this is all made out of solid aluminium, and it's actually quite thick, and it does give it a lot of weight as well, which is something that I really love with this mouse. And they also do give you the 3 attachable weights at the bottom there that you can screw in and out. But the material it really does it for me. When I have a mouse that feels heavy and feels like there's something behind it, I don't know, it just makes the mouse a whole lot easier to use in my head, and it makes it feel more quality, which it is at the end of the day. Also, I wanted to highlight the material on the side of the mouse here, which is a whole kind of separate bit of material. You can see there it's kind of sliced out. This, as you can kind of hear, is a rough material, so it's good for gripping. So if you have sweaty fingers or sweaty hands, that grips really well. And it's not the same material. This is kind of the more general plastic on top here. This is really smooth, completely smooth. Never really found that to be any issue in terms of if you have clammy hands or such. If you have such problems, never found that problem with me. Again, on the side where your pinky finger rests, this again is a rough material, just like on the other side. Again, really handy. stops your fingers sliding off if you do have clammy hands. So I've really found that to be, another really nice point. They've really thought about the type of materials that they've used here, and for me, it's a huge plus. It's the first thing you kind of notice when when you put it down in your hand, the build quality and the build materials. So a massive thumbs up to Corsair for that. I really do appreciate that. Now, in terms of the ergonomic design of the mouse, I just want you to see how sloping this part is for your thumb to rest here, and it does kind of cradle it quite nicely in there when you're holding the mouse, and it does stop it tend to falling off. So that, again, is something I really like about this mouse. Now, on the right hand side, something which I would like to see is maybe the same for your pinky finger here. Although I don't have any issues with my pinky finger falling off, some of you with larger hands, maybe your pinky's coming off the end of the mouse there, it would be nice just to have it resting in there with something, but I don't tend to notice it. Some other of you with different size shaped hands may do. Not an issue for me, so I can't really put a negative on that. Yeah, the weight system now I'd like to move on to. Now I'm just going to grab my screwdriver for this, just to show you how the weight system works. Obviously it's not rocket science. So you have these 3 weights placed here. Really easy just to screw out, like so. And the actual screw bit there isn't the weight itself, the weight is inside. So if I pop that one off, just so I can show you. So all that is like a little screw, and the weight is inside. So if I tip that one out, and you can just see it's just a normal weight, and obviously the screw goes in there. So you can take all of those out to adjust them to any way you want to play. If you prefer a really light mouse, then that's absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that. So it just gives you a lot of ways to customize the mouse how you want to play, which is a really nice feature. I've seen other mice and the weights, again, seem a bit cheap and tacky, but these are proper metal weights. Again, you kind of really do feel the quality there. Yeah, I've already mentioned the little finger falling off. I was going to go into that a bit more detail and kind of bring that up, but I feel that I've kind of done that, talked about that enough. For those of you that do have any questions, please just put them in the comments below. If you feel that it would be an issue for you, ask away, and I will try and help you out as best as I can. As far as the clicks go, they're really responsive, which I love. On other mice, for example, the length of the buttons go quite far down. These are quite short. So, I mean, from what I've read online, people say this is more of a claw. If you hold your mouse in a claw fashion, this would suit you more. To be honest, I'm not at all. I'm totally the opposite. But even still, I use the mouse perfectly well like this, not in the claw fashion. And it's brilliant. I've had no problems whatsoever. So if you're not a claw-handed gamer, I still really recommend this mouse. I've had absolutely no problems whatsoever, and I haven't tended to go into a claw grip either. And my thumb still fits nicely onto the sniper button and onto the 2 side buttons here. And again, no problems with any of the other buttons, the mouse wheel or anything else like that. I just did want to highlight the build quality on the mouse wheel as well. Again, it's solid metal and it's got a rubberized finish, and the rubber and the way that they've got grooves on it work really well in terms of gaining grip and purchase when you are scrolling. I've never actually had my finger slip at all when I've been using the middle mouse wheel. So again, that quality really shines through for me over all mouse. And to be honest, I had a big stigma over wired mice. I really tend to stay away from them because, for example, my cable here, when I've used mouse before, it gets caught. I think it's probably because I've never had a proper braided cable mouse in terms of it being cabled in the whole time. I've had absolutely no problems with this whatsoever. Even if there was a little niggle, I would probably overlook it due to the build quality of the mouse and how much I've actually enjoyed using this mouse. So in terms of it being wired versus wireless, I'm a huge wireless fan, and I would prefer this over other wireless mice that I have actually used. Also the lighting. So basically the lighting you could toggle on and off. There's no colour, you can't change the colours on the lighting, which some people really like that and would pay a premium for it. I think it's nice. Again, not essential to have it, but it's still nice anyway. It's got basically the light is inside behind the mouse wheel there. If I can just show you a bit better there, you can kind of see it shining through. When you're playing and it shines on the wall, it looks really nice. When you're moving your mouse around, it kind of shines out there. And the fact that it's made out of aluminium, shines off it really well. So yeah, I find that a really nice point Also, the pads on the bottom of the mouse are extremely smooth. Now you can see they've caught up a bit of dust here. Let's see if I can get a nice shine on them. They do seem to have worn a bit. I mean, I've been using this mouse for quite a while now. They've worn a little bit, but not much at all, really, which is a big plus. Now, you might be able to see there are little grooves just here and here and up here. So there's a groove for every one of these. So you can actually easily take these out. It's just another little design feature which helps you gamers even more. There's no hassle in terms of changing out these pads if you want to buy some more. So again, another really nice little touch. So for example, I'm using the Razer Scarab mouse mat here, and it seems to work really well with this mouse if you're looking for mice mats as well. Really, it's just hardly have to put any effort in. It just glides effortlessly. So yeah, if you're looking to get a really smooth mouse and a mouse pad, I'd probably recommend the Razer Scarab to go with it. It seems to work really well. So there's one other thing I just wanted to bring up, is the fact that this mouse is probably a lot cheaper than some of the the really expensive mice on the market. For example, the Razer Mamba and a few others are kind of up above £100 or $100. Now this is around $60 to $70, just a bit under that for pounds. If you're thinking that's going to be a detriment to the build quality of this mouse, I can guarantee you it is not at all. And the only thing that I can kind of think of is, now I don't want to keep preaching about Razer, but in terms of Razer, the price, a lot of the price you tend to see goes into the packaging of the product, whereas this comes in a very basic box, a bit of plastic, nothing special at all. To be honest, I would much rather have an awesome mouse with a great build quality like the M65 does than have a mouse that's got a really nice box, to be honest. I've really fallen in love with this mouse, and I really recommend that you pick this one up if you're in the market for that, and it's it's a great price point for what you're getting. So I would really recommend that you take a serious look at this mouse and consider it, because I absolutely love it. Now, I was going to put in a section about the software that comes with the Corsair M65 gaming mouse. Now, you can download that online, and there is a link in the description below. Unfortunately, whilst I've recorded it, the screen flickers a hell of a lot, and for whatever reason it doesn't work. Now, I'm going to try and put up a video on that soon to come. If you really do want that, please comment down below and let me know, because I'll try and get that up ASAP if you really do want it. But pretty much that concludes the review for the Corsair M65 FPS gaming mouse. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope I've managed to cover all the points that you did want to hear and see. If you haven't heard something that you really did want to hear, like I said, comment down below, let me know, and I will try and give a good response to that, or put up another video covering anything that I've missed. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and just let me know what you think, and I will be trying to get out some more hardware reviews as soon as I can. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I've been MrNosy, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.